Here.
Hey, Paul, are you there?
So I was able to log in and Valerie's there. Oh, wait, are they in a different meeting? I think they're in a different I think the link on the agenda is different than what you have. Because I see Valerie and is it Taish?
Yeah, that's the administrator, Christine. You're in the right meeting.
Wrong thing.
So let's try this.
Paul, is this supposed to be a hybrid meeting, Paul?
It is. I'm not in town, so I was
Well,
just
I don't
about to
know.
ask. I'm texting Judy, who I assume is next to Christine.
Hi, I think Judy may have logged into a different meeting, so she's checking the link right now.
Okay. But you need the laptop that's connected to the OWL needs to be logged into the meeting.
Okay. Did you hear that?
That's how the OWL, that's how it becomes a hybrid meeting. So there should be a laptop on the desk there, Christine.
Yep, I'm looking right at it. Yep.
Christina, sorry. It's supposed to be on.
Okay.
And then just go. I just went to the town website when I did it and pulled up the agenda and clicked on the link or open the link, whatever. The link, for some reason, it didn't make it a link this time. I don't know. I mean, the link is there, but it didn't make it like a clickable link. I don't know why.
Just a formatting issue.
Yes, it did. I clicked on it. I clicked on it in your agenda.
Oh, maybe they fixed it when they put it on the town website.
Well, I just did it from your email.
Cool. Well, maybe it's just my computer. That's a possibility as well.
Okay, so it's not doing this. I think I have to
Do people know I'm here?
Make sure you select the whole thing.
copy this and put it in the.
Yeah,
it's
there you
not
go.
letting me do it for some reason. Oh,
There you go.
Do you people know Angie's here?
Yeah, I see you, Angie.
Okay.
We're working on it. Judy's trying to get logged in. One more minute. It should have it. So click up there where it says open. Right there.
Oh, there's the owl. Because the other one, I couldn't see the owl. What I did was I clicked on the past agenda and it wasn't, there was
that's
no
why.
hyperlink.
Okay. Yeah, so then click join.
Recording in progress.
Christina, you have to turn yours off or mute the microphone. And then, there you go. You got it, Judy.
Yeah, a little fumbling, but, well, I went to the past agenda and the past agenda, for some reason, I don't know why I put that, but it didn't have a link, of course, because it wasn't current. So,
Right.
Hi guys. Hi Angie. Hi Valerie.
Can you
Okay.
hear me?
Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, we have 4 people, so I'm gonna start the meeting at 7:02.
I can hear you.
Okay, call to order 7:02. Roll call, Angie DeSanto.
Hang on here.
John Kobeck. Paul Varga.
Here.
Christina.
Here.
Garth. Jesse Burnham.
Judy, did you see the email from Jesse?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
But he's, excuse me. He said that he was going to call in.
Yeah, he said he was gonna, but maybe he could be on a call or tied up as well. So
Esther Jagodzinski. Hugh McKenzie. And Judy Austin here, of course. All right. So, hang on here. Oh boy, what did I do? Hang on 1 minute, please. Okay, so communications. The only thing that, let me go back. Oh, don't lost my minutes. Okay, I know there's the meeting for the school this Saturday on the 11th. For everybody for the conversation about the roof. And also there's a meeting on February 13th for the conversation about the land in Westford. I have no other communication at this time. Does anybody else want to share?
I haven't received anything.
Okay. Public comments. Well, there's only 4 of us here. So approve minutes of the meeting for Thursday, January 26th. I think we're going to postpone that because I didn't see them online and I couldn't find them quickly enough before we started. So
Oops, maybe I forgot to send them out. I know I got them, so I can't blame Valerie for that.
I don't think you sent them, Paul.
I will double check while we're on the meeting.
I thought that I had read them, so I know that Valerie did, but for what, you know, whatever, we can wait until next.
Okay, that's fine.
Not a big deal. Okay, new business. Bill is kind enough to join our lonesome 2 here.
Good evening. As Judy touched on, we have a meeting scheduled. It'll be a public hearing followed by a special town meeting to address a $5 million bonding issue for the roof project at the school. The reimbursement from the state is anticipated, and we've got confirmation of being 63%. Was just using rough totals, and I don't have the exact figures. The total commitment for the town, including soft costs, will be about $2 million. And the resolution will be passed. It's anticipated the construction will start the summer of 24. Incidentally, we were on schedule for the school tank replacement, which funding has already been put in place. We're also going to be reimbursed 63% for that. Total of that project is estimated to be $270,000. That's going to start the end of June. One of our bidders on the project was the only one gave us the option of buying the tank directly from the manufacturer. And we've opted to go with that option, and it's going to result in approximate savings of about somewhere between $11,000 and $12,000. And the reason for that is there was an 18% markup by the project managers. consistently, and by ordering it ourselves, we save that money. So that will be a potential savings that looks like we'll realize. And the timing for the installation of the 20,000 gallon tank should coincide prior to the beginning of the school year. And it looks like the timing at this point is working out pretty well. As Judy also referred to, there's an important public hearing. I'm not sure whether they'll be voting on it or not, but they have the opportunity with the planning and zoning for the 13th with the project that Steve Rododopoulos and Campanelli developers are going before the planning and zoning for an amendment change to the existing.
I have a question.
Yes.
Hi. I was wondering, when you say you're not sure about voting, do the citizens vote for it, or does the commission vote for it?
It's a public hearing where the public will be heard, but only the commission, planning and zoning, will be voting.
Okay.
Hey, Bill, it's Paul. Just to make sure that Angie understands, they're not voting on any project. That's just for the text amendments. That's very important.
Correct.
I'm not sure what that means, text amendments.
Okay, so their vote, any person, in this case, it's a development company, can ask the Planning and Zoning Commission to change a part of the regulation, which is called the text. So that's what they're asking for. They're not voting on any project. There's nothing like that. It's just amendments to the regulations.
Got it. Okay.
I'm trying to think of a current one, but anyway, just so I just want people to understand that, because that is very important.
Okay.
Thank you, Bill. Sorry.
It is just for that particular zone. For lack of a better term, it's the I-84 industrial zone that was created by the Plan of Development, Conservation and Development several years ago. And that's what they'll be addressing. Following that, of course, they'll be going through inland wetland. They'll be going through more specifics once they have specific designs and that in the building. But it is an important meeting. I encourage people to join and participate if you're so chosen to do that. Incidentally, if the project as it's being proposed does end up coming to fruition, it potentially can be our largest taxpayer in town, as well as probably our largest employees. Estimated right now, they're talking about somewhere in the area between 100 and 200 potential jobs at that facility. It's about a $200 million project as it sits right now, exclusive of interior tenant improvements and personal property.
Bill, I have a statement. I don't know too much about this, but I've read a few things, and there are other ways of talking about what taxes will be paid by them and how much it will cost us in different things like water prevention and whatever. I don't know too much about it, but people will be talking about it. So there are two ways to look at it. You think we're going to save by getting money back in taxes? Maybe, but there are other costs that may mitigate it. So we'll find out on.
Well, and that's part of the consideration. Obviously, there'll be a debate on that. There are web pages up on both sides of the issue, and I can only recommend that to be better informed, look at both sides of the issues.
Yep.
Right now, the projections that I've seen, 93% of our tax base is residential property taxpayers, which is kind of unique for the whole area because of the very low commercial base we have. This project, if it is approved in the same way it's being presented right now, would take between 10 and 13% of that residential tax base and put it over to the commercial side. And I just think that's something that is due consideration, and it's one of the things that many of us have felt it was a major burden on our property taxpayers over the years, because it is unique. None of our sister towns have anywhere near the percentage of residential tax responsibilities that we do. So anyway, I just encourage everybody, and what I said to everybody that I've talked to about this is please have an open mind and familiarize yourselves with the pros and cons of it. And, we have a very competent planning and zoning that I'm sure will address those concerns and express themselves that way. Angie, I just know that you have like to keep an idea of things that are going on in town. If you don't mind, I'll share some of them with you.
Can I interrupt you for 1 second?
Yes.
So I'm seeing members that are coming in right now that I'd like to see at 7:13.
Okay.
John Kopak and Jesse Burnham. John and Jesse, you okay with that? Do I see you? He can't hear me.
Yeah, you could seat me, but I'm going to be having to leave work and drive. So
that's okay. I'm just acknowledging you there. Thank you.
As I did at the Board of Selectmen meeting, I'd like to congratulate and show our appreciation to our Ashford Volunteer Fire Department, the Department of Public Works, our Emergency Management Director, and several people from the private sector for the storm, the hard freeze we went over this past weekend. It turned out we only had one home in town where residents had to be displaced because of frozen pipes. And St. Philip's Church opened up their center for use for people as a warming or charging station. And we also had the senior center available, although nobody took us up on that, but it were available. And it was just a concerted effort by the fire department and DPW and everything. We had multiple fallen trees and branches on wires throughout town. And they worked closely with Eversource and expeditiously got everything up and running. Eversource, Asplin, and Frontier, you'll notice there are trucks all over town. Asplin, through being contracted by Eversource, is removing dangerous trees and branches on all of the roads in town. And Frontier and Spectrum, although I don't believe Spectrum has started yet, are installing upgraded fiber optics throughout town. And that's why you'll see a number of people directing traffic and that on our roads. They started on the main roads, but they'll be doing all of the smaller roads in town.
Bill, I have a question.
Yeah.
The fiber optics, what is, first of all, is the entire town going to be usable with the fiber optics, whatever it is? We can use it everywhere or just in certain places?
Well, there's two stages. I assume you're talking about broadband. And there's two stages going on. We appropriated approximately $30,000 through our ARPA fund and signed a contract with Spectrum to hit certain roads that do not have broadband, or if they have it only on a part-time basis. Lips Road, Iron Mine Road, there's a couple of other, Pease Road. That is going forward. They're in their permitting stage. There was about 20 homes that were affected that way. Frontier is a separate issue on their own, installing the fiber optics, and that is going to be town-wide. So end result, we anticipate 100% of the town by the middle of next summer will have access to broadband.
And what does that mean in terms of what you can do? Like you can get internet different ways, or I don't know what it means.
You can get internet either through Spectrum or through Frontier.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Part of ARPA funds, we've also just finished the installation and we'll start utilization of a new gas tank up at the Highway Department. That was approved by town meeting and has been installed. Part of the rationale when we put that in was we found during emergency times, particularly if we had townwide power shortages and we had any vehicles that were utilizing gas, they had to go out of town to fill up. We'll now have a resource right at our own highway garage to take it. An incidental thing that just came to fruition within the past couple of months. Our new truck with the Public Works Department is now gas. They're getting away from diesel. The new buses that we are ordering we've been requested by the school, and we're complying with that. We're going to also gasoline. We're finding it's much cheaper than diesel as it stands and turns out to be much more reliable. So we're going to be utilizing that even more. All of the special ed vans up at the school are on gas. Several of our DPW trucks. Most of the fire department equipment is on diesel, but there's small machinery, there's saws and jaws of life and everything that aren't electronic use gas. So we'll have multi-use by multiple departments in town. We also, by using that facility, will save approximately $1 a gallon off of the commercial price that we've been paying for gasoline throughout. Yeah, the only other thing, I'm not sure I mentioned this at your last meeting, but the Board of Selectmen has appointed Sherry Susie as our permanent treasurer. That term to coincide with Cheryl Baker's original term, which expires the end of June. But Sherry has been appointed as permanent. She was interim until that designation. She works full days on Fridays and is authorized up to 18 hours working from home for any other time. One other thing, we continue to monitor, I know a major impact issue. In fact, that's why we set aside money in a contingency fund. The Board of Selectmen recommended it, and the Board of Finance brought that forward with our budget last year, putting a $50,000 contingency because of our concerns about diesel costs, heating fuels, and that. I continue to work with the business manager up at the school, and we're monitoring prices. Right now, before we sign a long-term commitment, last year for heating fuel, we were paying $3.16 a gallon. We had that locked in, and it was the end of a 3-year contract. Right now, we're at $3, which is good news.
Yeah, wow.
We're hoping that drops a little before we lock in another 3-year. The diesel, we locked in last year at $3.68 a gallon. Right now, we're at $3.08, and we're still going to hold off another week or two before we commit in that, because we believe both of those costs are going to come down somewhere below $3. That's the way the trend is going. So that's some good news that we've all been holding our breath on where we're going to end up on those costs. So should be an improvement on our budget.
So I have a couple questions. So Sherry's going to be permanent treasurer. Is she going to be more hours like Cheryl, or?
Well, I mentioned she's going to be all day Fridays and up to 18 hours working from home.
Okay.
As needed. We have not filled up that position. Frankly, we're still doing an analysis. We have 2 positions open. We have the roving position that we talked about, that we'll probably be changing that job description and the title. And we have not replaced. Cheryl wore many hats. Besides treasurer, she wore the hat of administrative assistant. She also handled, and we're not sure how she inherited it, but she was our webmaster. She was handling facilities. She was also handling human resources. None of those were documented in her job description or anything. My office has retaken over all of human resources handling. The webmaster, we have just signed a side agreement with the union to have Karen Zulik pick that up at $50 a week. And she'll be doing that through the end of this contract, and I assume that'll be in the next union negotiation. So anyway, we're kind of fine tuning that. I'm also taking a look at the job description for Laura. Laura Ander has been doing a yeoman's job, picking up the slack in that office and many other responsibilities. So my recommendation eventually to the Board of Selectmen will be that we fine tune and change that job description somewhat.
Which department or office is she in?
Finance department.
Finance.
She was originally hired, as best I can tell, as a payroll clerk. And then it kind of mushroomed into other things. And then she became the deputy treasurer. That was all kind of done informally and everything. So we're going to formalize all of that and get it under a specific job description.
As far as the contingency fund, are we making that a permanent fund?
I wouldn't think so. I think it's something we'll reconsider on it, depending on how the market is going. You know, as you know, the way that we recommended, you folks went along with it. It was to be a resource that if we were going to utilize it, we would come to you folks and let you know whether we had a need for it through Public Works or the school did, and then we would determine how the split would be instead of designating it to a specific department. Knock on wood, as it sits right now, we have not had the need to tap that.
Well, before I forget, and I apologize, Christina, I'm going to seat you at 7:24 for Garth.
Oh, yeah.
I just it totally blew my mind. I apologize.
I forgot to.
And one of the things I just noticed, John here. John, you had a question. I know it was in the finance session about the video transcriptions for the Board of Ed. I had a meeting yesterday with the superintendent. She was of the opinion it was on both. They also tried to walk me through the new school webpage, and I couldn't find it either. She's going to let me know probably tomorrow if it's not up, why, and get it back on. She's a strong proponent of transparency. She says she'll make sure that happens.
Cindy's actually on the meeting.
Oh, hi, Cindy. I didn't lie, right?
No, that's correct. It's actually in the meeting minutes. If you look at the bottom, there's a link, but when I tried to hit that link, the link is not live. So we've got to figure out either to send the recordings. And I see that you guys use YouTube to upload them.
I believe that's what Mike D'Amato does, yes.
All right, so maybe if I can talk to him and figure out exactly how that's done, and we can do something very similar.
We're going to meet with Savage up at the school tomorrow. I don't know if you've heard, but Mike and who was the gentleman from Savage?
That would be either Eric or Travis.
I think Travis. Sometime after 2, when we start setting up the room, the cafeteria, Mike's going to be up there, so maybe we can huddle and get together on that.
Okay, sounds great.
Oh, yeah.
That's all I have. If anybody has any questions, I'd be glad to address them. Any more questions?
Anybody else have questions? Okay. We're moving on to new business, B. So B is approval payment of the annual report. Technically, we have it in our financial budget, but I just wanted transparency that it was paid. So I'd like to ask somebody to motion to approve for Amanda Robinson $350 for her services on assisting BOF in editing and formatting the town annual report, just to make it official. Do I have somebody?
Is that something we've done before? Is that something we've done before?
I don't know if anybody would, well, we'll motion. So I'll motion to pay Amanda Robinson $350 for her services assisting the BOF of editing and formatting the town of Ashford's annual report. Can I get a second? And then we'll go on.
I'll second.
Second, Angie.
Thank you, Angie.
Yep.
So, I don't ever remember having to bring that to a vote, but since people are always so critical, I figured it can't hurt.
Over the years, I don't think there's been a standard procedure to do that, but where it's been necessitated, it's been filled in.
It is in our budget. I mean, you can see it as a line item for, but
Good enough for me.
to make it official and where the money's going. So, all those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
All aye.
Aye.
Jesse Burnham, aye.
Angie DeSanto, aye.
Thank you, guys. Motion passes. Unanimously. I can't write that fast. Old business on the budget. So I haven't had any updates yet. I have visited with Sherry on Friday and she's working diligently to get us something put together. Hopefully we'll have something within the week. I will be stopping by next Friday for a little bit to see if I can get any updates on that. Our audit reports, the hard copy audit reports are in the office with Laura and Sherry. If you guys haven't picked them up yet, the office is open a little bit later on Wednesday and then Friday. You pick them up during the day. Okay. Old business, the election of the Board of Finance clerk. Do I have any regular members that are interested?
Could I just go back to the budget for a second, just to update you on something? We're putting together our capital non-reoccurring fund committee, and we have sent out questionnaires to all of the departments. They have not all come in yet. Primary ones obviously are the school and DPW and the fire department for particular items. There'll be representatives, those three units. Plus, we normally have a member of the Board of Finance. I think Judy, you're going to sit in on those.
Yeah, we voted.
Who also sit in on that committee to make recommendations. We're also formulating a recommendation the Board of Selectmen will be making to the Board of Finance regarding a transfer of funds from this year's budget, particularly from our overages into capital non-recurring fund. So that's in process. I have not called a meeting yet of the committee yet because I want to get the paperwork for them prior.
What transfer of funds are we talking about?
From our general fund overages that we may have as a result of last year's budget or whatever into the capital non-reoccurring fund.
Yeah, Judy, you might remember it as unassigned fund balance to CNR. It was actually, we did it last year in this meeting in February.
Yeah, it's been done every year.
I just happened to, I was looking to see if there was any time that we had voted on the annual report payment, just to see if it had been done. I just went back a couple of years. So that's the only reason I knew that, because I found that. No.
I think so.
Okay. Thank you, Paul.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, I was just trying to write down exactly what you said. That's all. I understand what the funds were. Just not quite there yet. Okay. Let's see. Agenda for the next meeting.
Hold it, go back. Nobody wants my job.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not doing it anymore.
So, yeah, I was on item B, the election of the Board of Finance clerk. Do we have any regular members that are interested in this position before I pass that off to Bill to pick somebody? Nobody? No takers?
Judy, it's Paul. So can I just, we have like 30 days, I think, if I remember right. I forgot to read the statute, but
That's correct.
Yeah.
if somebody wants to know what's involved, they can call me or email me and we can talk, or they can talk to Judy. And you know I made it sound really hard, but it's just because I'm so busy. That's part of the problem. And a perfect example is now I'm looking while I'm sitting here trying to see if I sent those minutes or not. Because I know I read them, because I know I remember seeing them from Valerie and I converted them and all that. And so it's just that it's not as difficult as it really sounds. It's just that I'm just basically overwhelmed with stuff, and some of the things I need to move to somebody else. So if you have questions, I don't think Bill has to make a decision yet. We still have another meeting. So I just want to say that I don't want people to shy away from it because I think it's super difficult. It's just, it adds too much to my plate personally. Thanks.
If they don't fill it, hopefully we'll be.
Of the clerk. Paul did an awesome job, but then he did 100% probably more than it entails. But yeah, anybody interested, please let me know. We could use the support.
When do our 30 days run out?
He gave it.
I think his notice was February 1st.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was the first week in February.
So we can do it at the next meeting.
Yeah.
Or Garth's not here tonight.
That's always good. You would have been shown on the account.
Yeah, the person that didn't come.
Yeah, no, it's terrible.
We got enough people to vote. All right, so we have another week. And then on top of that, the select, I believe. I think that it says clerk, though, it has to be within 30 days that you guys decide.
I could be wrong, but I talked to Sherry much about it. I believe it's from 30 days from the day that, I mean, it's not a big deal, but it's 30 days that the Board of Finance notifies us that
Yes.
you cannot fill it.
But you don't get another 30 days on top of
That's
it,
true.
so, yeah.
We'll take care of
see
it
that.
before then anyway.
We'll find out.
I'm sure we'll fill it on our own.
Do it tonight.
Just not tonight.
Okay, so I guess that will be one of the agenda items for the next meeting. Is to talk about the election of a Board of Finance clerk. Hopefully we'll be talking about the budget of 2023, 2024. Trying to think of what other items.
Budget.
Yeah, well, we need the documents first before we can really speak of it. So.
What, is there a presentation at the next meeting? Is somebody presenting a budget?
We haven't gotten anything.
We won't be ready. Our new treasurer is proposing a new format to follow, putting it in Excel.
Oh,
Something that she's familiar with.
I like that.
I've asked her to get a sample both to me and to Judy, so we can take a look at it. But so I'm optimistic it may make it a little easier for us to comprehend and do comparisons and that sort of stuff.
That's great.
So those are the items I have thus far. If I think of something else or anybody else thinks of something, let me know. That's about it. remarks for the good of the board. Thank you guys for all you do. You are appreciated. But somebody please step up for clerk. All right, motion to adjourn.
I so do.
Second.
This is
Angela,
Jesse. I'll second.
I got a John second, Jeff. Sorry. Who said it really low? All those in favor?
Aye.
I
Aye.
Thank you guys. Have a good week.
Aye.
take care.
Have a good evening, everybody.